and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. My name is Ramaila, and on this channel it's all about learning, growth and contribution. Guys, yo nah, please don't be mad, guys. We're thinking in life, ne? Things happen chucks, quick, and I know you guys have like less than a month up until the final SAICA APC exam, and you guys are in shambles because that's how I was feeling. Literally, my voice is a bit shaky because I'm coming back from getting married. Whoop whoop. So I took a break from YouTube, not officially, unofficially, officially, and that was because I was planning my wedding. Kamo, you guys are showing me love, asking me for this APC video, and I'm like, yo guys, di coste tama blomo di ring mo ngwane. So I'm glad to be back. I'm just going to be here and just impart to you like just the few final tips that I have for APC. I mean, there's a whole series where you can reflect and go back and just look back at those videos to see what you can learn from it. But I mean, if you're writing the final APC exam, you've gone through the board course, you know exactly what it entails, right? You've tried different things, you've seen what works for you, you've seen what doesn't work for you. So just to start it all off, don't disregard everything that you've done from the board course, right? The reason why the board course was there was to actually prepare you for the final SAICA APC exam. So I would suggest, with the couple of days, weeks left up until the final exam, reflect on your board course experience and just see what worked for you and what didn't work for you. Now that includes reflecting on your group members, whether they are doing the things for you and whether they did the things for you, going back to your exam technique, going back to your way of writing emails, seeing where you went wrong. Maybe your tone was wrong when you were addressing the board, or your tone was a bit different when you were addressing the audit partner. But go back to those lessons and just reflect on everything that you did right and everything that you did wrong. Now, the reason for this is that everything that you did right is what you should be elevating and what you should be focusing on in this small period. Everything that you did wrong is what you should be correcting fast, you know, because with the final SAICA APC exam, not even your board course lecturers know what's to come, right? Everybody's just anticipating up until you guys are good to tell us what the industry is. Nobody knows what the SAICA APC exam is going to look like, but I feel like at this point you've been equipped and you are well on your way to passing the exam if you just use the lessons that worked, right? And now is not the time to be deviating from any strategy that was working. Now for me, I'm one person that I was like Begazela Queen, working throughout the year, you know, making sure that I was putting my best foot forward when it came to work. But when I was trying to prepare for the final exams, year-end fatigue is a real thing, right? Most of you are probably feeling tired. You probably don't want to see another book. You are coming from deadlines. Some people are approaching deadlines. Some people are coming off deadlines. So your tiredness is catching up with you. So for me, I made sure that like I bulked up on my multivitamins. For me, guys, when I go to the gym, I don't go to the gym to look good. It's a benefit. You get to look good, ne? But you need to distress. There's this false narrative that if you go into the gym, you're going to like release all your energy and you're going to be so tired to study or to like think through. But essentially, you need to get your endorphins going. You need to get your brain stimulated. So exercising just even 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you know, go on TikTok, go on YouTube, go on Instagram, follow some fitness influencers and just see what workouts that they have. But try to get into the mood of literally getting your body through it, right? Year-end fatigue is also a mental situation. So you need to make sure that you know this is my final stretch of this very long journey. And for some of us, it was longer than necessary. Some of us took more than 7 years, guys. So the fact that it's the final stretch, you need to prepare yourself mentally and tell yourself, Lesego, whoever, you are doing this for the last time. You are writing this exam for the first time and the last time. So decide in your mind already that you are going to pass. Nobody should tell you, or you shouldn't even wait for the day of the results come out for you to like confirm that you passed. You need to walk into that exam with success already received so that you carry it out when you write the exam. So mentally stimulate yourself, get your body moving, and like get rid of this year-end fatigue. The other thing is, for me, I've already expressed in a previous video that when I was like preparing for my SAP, for example, that was a switch that went off, right? Where I felt like any insecurity that I had about the exam needed to go away. Number one, I wasn't 100% convinced that UCT was giving me all the details, guys. I wanted all the juice. So I made sure that I got the UJ papers and I practiced with them as well, right? The only reason why I did that was to just kill that insecurity. Now for you, if you feel like your board course is satisfactory and you feel like you got everything that you need, do some past papers and fix what's wrong. You're not necessarily doing the past papers for you to feel like, you know, when you're writing an exam like ITC or even CTA, you were just doing an exam because it made you feel good. This time, the only reason why you should be trying an APC exam is to fix what's wrong. Now, for me, I used to have a problem of theory dumping, right? So I used to literally read an exam that I have no business being in because it's probably I needed to research and I needed to do whatever. But I had to get rid of the fact that I was like a victim of theory dumping. So I would try a question and just see whether I, Leseho, can write down what is required of me without ever doing the research, right? So for me, going back and using the past papers to get rid of my theory dumping habit, that is the reason why I went back to my APC past papers. For you, it might be a different reason, but just make sure that in your preparation of going through past papers or reflection, you need to know, why am I doing what I am doing? The other thing is, obviously, it's a short period of time. Some of you are probably working and some of you, your leave is approaching. I would recommend that you rest. If you haven't gone on leave, given the fact that you guys are writing in a few weeks' time, make sure that you have a gap in between when you finish work and when you write the final SAICA exam. Guys, it is a thinking exam. You need to be ready mentally, emotionally, and you should be in a position where you can think. If you are not well rested, if you have been on this roller coaster of 160 kilometers per hour, you are going down. You need to rest, okay? So apply for your leave. Speak to your managers if you're not in a position where you can be taking leave, and tell them the importance of you passing. It's the final exam, guys. Don't let that zell. This is your life, right? At the end of the day, you're the one that has to face yourself when you are not successful, or whether you look at yourself and think, why didn't I rest? Had I rested, I probably would have thought through that exam or thought through that question, right? So make sure that you get enough time after work before the final exam. Now, another thing is obviously making sure that you know what you're going to be doing in your pre-release period, right? You cannot walk in there blind and think to yourself, okay, I will wait until I get that final paper to think about what I'm going to be doing. Make sure that you have all your stationery and your files like ready. Those things need to be things that you don't think about. Make sure that you know what you're going to be eating in that 5-day period, guys. I feel like sometimes we underestimate the little things that get in between the exam. But if you're thinking about, am I eating pap or rice during the exam period, you've lost it. That can't be your situation. That can't be your case. Make sure that you know what you're going to be eating in your 5-day pre-release time. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, and I probably learned this late when I was writing the SAP, but you must be prepared to do the research by yourself. Every single trigger, you should be researching it by yourself. I know some people, like, you really trust your group members and you really, really value and highly regard them. That's why they're in your group. But that exam, one-on-one, you and that exam, if you're going to be shipping out triggers, you are at a disadvantage because you might not get the full context of what the trigger was. So you need to be prepared to actually be pushing as much as you can in the first 3 days of that pre-release time, making sure that you are aware that you are going to research everything and you are going to get through everything. It sounds like a mountain, but you've been through the board course, you know how it works. You need to make sure that you are ready and prepared to research everything. Now, I understand you're not a machine, right? You're not going to go full force for the 5 days and then on the day you're expected to work because your body is going to be tired. For me, for my group, what worked even after writing this up is that the first 3 days of my pre-release period were like my Sylvester Stallone days, guys. I was pushing. I do not care how late I slept or how early I woke up. It was making sure that I understood the triggers, not getting through a mountain of information, but making sure that I understood the trigger in the context of the business, in the context of the industry, right? And those 3 days was like power hour every hour. It is the last exam. It is the last exam. You are going to feel so good. You're going to feel so proud of yourself once you realize that your hard work is not going to go in vain when you actually pass. So those 3 days are brutal, but you are going to push and you're going to make sure that you research every single trigger. Now on day 3, I think that's when most times you get together with your group and then you guys exchange like knowledge and exchange triggers and you just check whether you've covered your bases. But on day 3, it's about reflecting and hearing other people's perspective, because you are not always right. Your way of thinking is not the only way of thinking. So if you're going to be stubborn, I don't know, but you should be an open vessel. You should be prepared to be wrong and to be challenged, but to be comfortable and confident in what you're saying and also understanding what the other person is saying. And if you still don't agree, it's fine, but you needed to know and hear that not everybody is going to think like you. There is nothing wrong with hearing other people's perspective, but make sure that you've researched everything so that you really do have a backing that is competent and that is well informed and well researched. On day 4, for me, what I did is I really went through the other people's research with my research that I did, because remember, 3 days I was researching Yonkinto. So day 4, I was bringing into consideration what my group members researched. I was bringing into consideration what I researched, and I was making it into one concise Lesotho file, not anyone's file. Day 5, I was literally just doing my summaries, writing down on blank pieces of paper what this email meant and where the conflict in this trigger was, where the trigger was trying to head towards. Did I cover all the fundamentals? I was literally just summarizing everything so that I even build my confidence to know that I know this case study back to front, side to side. Like, it didn't matter. You could wake me up in the middle of the night and I knew this case study. But that was because I had mentally passed in my mind. So for me, when I was preparing, it wasn't nerves of saying I don't think I'm going to make it. It was nerves to say I am going to show off and show out. And that is the confidence that you need to walk in, guys. You need to get rid of this mentality that, oh my gosh, I'm going to wait until the day of getting my exam results to know that I have passed. But when you've already won in your mind, it is much easier to get through the 5 days with a set outcome in place with determination. But otherwise, you need to make sure that you are well rested on the day 5. Don't work up until late. For me, I cut it off at 3 p.m. I was done, guys. It was in God's hands. I was lighting my candles, I was praying, I was writing in my journal, I was listening to worship music. Guys, I was getting into the best version of Lesotho that is going to carry through this pass, because that is what you need. You need to be mentally rested just before you write that exam, because the final SAICA exam, guys, it's that feeling of, oh my goodness, it has been so long and I'm at the end. You know, it is the beginning of the end, because after you pass, it's another journey. But in that moment, you really get to reflect and realize that all my hard work is going to be laid out in this 8 hours, and I am ready and I am prepared. I was making sure that I was eating correctly, I was taking my vitamins, I was exercising at least 20 minutes, I was making sure that I was getting different perspectives from different people, but I was also confident in the preparation that I did for myself. So I encourage you to make sure that in the 5-day period, the time before you even get to that 5 days, make sure that you are well rested. Make sure that you have validated yourself. Make sure that you are prepared. Your stationery is on standby. Your files are on standby. Your standards are ready to go. You know exactly what you're going to be eating in the 5 days. You know exactly what you're going to be eating on the day. You know when to take breaks. And literally stick to the strategy that has worked. You passed the board course. Hence, you are writing the final exam. So in essence, you can do it. If you did the board course, you can do the SAICA APC exam. I think there are so many other factors that hinder people when they write the final exam. It might be insecurity. It might be inadequacy that is starting to settle in. But whatever you need to do to get rid of all that mental fluff, weakness, attack from the enemy, you need to disregard that and be strong in mind. For me, I am a prayer warrior, guys. I get through my life by praying, and I made sure that my helmet of salvation was very hard on my head, and I knew that I was going to pass. So from me to you, I know you can do this. I know you can do this. You just need to make sure that you are right within yourself, that you understand that you are more than capable and that you are worthy of the designation. But I wish you all the best, and I wish that this APC series was able to help you and make you feel confident and encourage you to keep on going, and to also know that whatever you do it for the glory of God, and everything that comes to pass. Guys, we were writing. Wi-Fi was not working. 1 December 2021. No Wi-Fi. We started 2 hours late. The enemy was on a mission, guys. Things happen on the day. But because you are so confident in your own capabilities and in your own preparation, whatever is going to happen that day, you need to know that the outcome is victory, and you need to work towards victory. But you're going to make it, and you're going to do well. And if you have any other questions, guys, reflect on these videos. Make sure that you reflect on your board course. Make sure that you stick to your strategy. It has gotten you this far, and it will get you further. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, to comment, to share, and to subscribe. And thank you so much for supporting the APC series, and I wish you nothing but the best. Bye, guys.